these two teams. Certainly Obiomegano for Oral Roberts, just 6 points in that first half. And the flip side, IUPUI, Marcellus Barksdale, a kid that was coming in really playing good basketball, averaging 19.8 points in his last 4 games. He had a very slow first half too.
There's 2 from Brandon Conley for Oral Roberts.
This is Barksdale with the basketball. He's had 1 point in that first half.
0 for 5 from the field for Barksdale. Davron Williams had 4 points, 8 rebounds for IUPUI. IUPUI's, they're just fine playing at this pace. Well, Roberts gets out, scores a little more. Davron Williams going to the free throw line. Here's that dunk at the other end. Donnell Henderson to Brandon Conley. And the foul at this end is on Conley, and 2 shots coming here for Davron Williams. This is a very mature IUPUI team, Brad. A lot of seniors, a lot of guys that have already earned their undergraduate degree. Williams is one of them.
And even not only just seniors, but also juniors and players that have played a lot of college basketball. You look at their bodies, very mature physically, good strength. I think the off-season for this IUPUI program can be instrumental in them taking steps forward. I mean, improving the skill level. See that going along with this athleticism. They could be a very good team. They're going to settle back into a zone defense here.
Megano slips loose. Obiomegano still just 1 of 5 from the field now after that miss.
Megano's a rhythm player, and he's had no rhythm tonight. I credit IUPUI for a lot of that. Mason Archie did a nice job defensively.
Donnell Henderson, one of the great shot blockers in the Summit League this season. Najee to Barksdale. And Megano up for the rebound.
Barksdale still has yet to make a basket. 0 for 6. IUPUI is going to need him to get things going offensively here.
Kicked out, shot clock still at 21 for the Golden Eagles.
You know, look on this end of the floor. IUPUI did everything they needed to do defensively in that first half. When you hold Oral Roberts to 43%, you get them to turn it over 8 times. Held your own on the boards. And this is kind of what the Jags have done this year, where they've been able to stay in games. Just muddy it up, play good D, and rebound the ball.
Aaron Young got loose that time for the 3, but Barksdale going the other way, and there's his first bucket. And a free throw coming for Barksdale.
Well, the good defense on the board leads to some transition. Barksdale, that wasn't pretty, going to the basket. Wasn't even quite sure, I think, what hand he was going to shoot the thing with, but got it up over the rim, got it to go. Got a chance to tie this thing up.
Foul was on Obiomegano, his second. And Barksdale with the 3-point play. He's got 4 points. Full court now from the Jaguars. Knocked out by Barksdale.
They have all kinds of different defenses they'll throw at teams. And this is one they'll break out. They like this second half. It's kind of a zone press that they'll fall back into the zone defense out of. They're trying to get Oral Roberts to guess, is the trap coming or is it not coming?
And Megano just off on the jump shot so far tonight. He hit that 3-pointer in the first half, but that's the only jump shot he's made. So really, really talented scorer for Oral Roberts. There were 6 points right now, and half of those at the free throw line.
Yeah, I mean, he's a 47% shooter, 37 from 3, so he's very skilled in doing that. Just hasn't shown yet. This is him with the basketball in transition.
One official was going to wipe it off. One was going to give it to Megano, and that's the 3rd foul on Obiomegano, and wipe off the basket.
We talked about the block charge call, the toughest one to make. It gets even tougher in transition. And again, you can see the defensive player, Tom, not set. I mean, even in slow motion there. And And it's a tough call for officials to make, but it seems like it's kind of swinging back as you watch more games back to where the defensive player, if there's a lot of contact, getting the call. And it didn't seem like it was that earlier in the year.
Third on Oregano. Now they're going to call this one on Barksdale. Or are they? Yes, they will. Barksdale running over Bobby Word this time, and this is an offensive foul.
Well, that's a good call because Barksdale led with his shoulder, displaced the defender. And in that case, because the offense was initiating that contact, the defender has the right to be, when you're guarding the basketball, you don't have to be set to draw a charge. When you're a secondary defender stepping in, meaning you're not the guy guarding the basketball and you're trying to step in to take the charge, that's when you've got to be set to take it. So there's a big difference there in how that call gets administered. And if they're going to the monitor here, it's not to review whether or not that was a good call or not. They're going back to review, was there any contact above the shoulders, something that would be deemed a non-basketball play.
Which it didn't appear to be initially. The way it was called, Barksdale, just an offensive foul on Marcellus Barksdale. Bobby Word was the defender for Oral Roberts. Didn't appear to be elbows or anything up around the head or neck of either player.
And a coach can request just a quick review of that, and I think that's kind of what the officials did here.
David Richmond, that's the coach of the year in the Summer League this year at North Dakota State. His team gets
I think the other thing they're looking at, yeah, who the foul was on is also a thing they're looking at. They're calling a double foul. Interesting. Well, we'll see if we can get an explanation of that from one of the officials. Seems a little perplexing there. I mean, you can clearly see here Barksdale, initiates contact. Play should be done then. And I see what's going on is you had one official with a charge, one with a block. And honestly, Tom, that's officiating where they've got to get together and agree on that call. They shouldn't be so quick to call it. Make a little eye contact between each other. Kind of puts them in a difficult spot when that happens.
So it just goes as a double foul. IUPUI keeps the basketball.
They get the basketball on the possession arrow, and the shot clock does not reset. It's down to 3 now.
Archie's looking up there. He did get it off. Back rim, Davron Williams going after it, and finally run down there by Adrian Weber.
Both these teams going a little bit more zone defense here. Throwing different look at the opposition.
Janelle Henderson handles that for Oral Roberts. He's got 4.
You watch Henderson make a good, strong post move like that, and you just feel like he's a guy that Oral Roberts could play through a little bit more in the low post. He only averages 9 points.
Taking 2 shots, made them both.
He's a great field goal percentage shooter. Doesn't get a ton of touches.
Zones at both ends now. Najee hands it off to James. And that's the first field goal for Josh James. He's got 4. IUPUI doing what it does, just spreading that scoring all over the place. Taken away by Barksdale. Aaron Young running with him. He's got Mason Archie trailing. And a foul before the shot gets up on Aaron Young. And it will be Jaguar basketball. When we come back, the Oral Roberts band has been unbelievable today. Their women's team is in the semis. To see if the men can join them.
The Summit League Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda.
I'm telling you, those guys are good. I'm getting some grief on Twitter as we take a look at that ORU band on the Buffalo Wild Wings fan cam.
Been great to have them back in the Summit League, bringing a ton of energy here to the Premier Center, not only tonight, but this afternoon as well.
They are good. That song they just played was legit. My buddies on Twitter don't think so, but...
You need to get some new friends then.
Good point. Very, very good point. All right, tied at 31 here with 14 to go. Jabbar Singleton is in for Oral Roberts. Obiomegano, 1 of 6 from the field. The Jags have held him to 6 points so far.
Really, both these teams defensively, they've been locked in. With the focus and intensity you got to play with in a tournament atmosphere here. Trying to advance and move on.
DJ McCall and Aaron Brennan back in there for IUPUI. Contact inside. And
I like what Donnell Henderson's doing here, especially in this second half. That's another aggressive move, going to get himself to the foul line here. You see, he gets big up top, and at 6'7", 235 pounds, he's going to the basket.
Foul is on Aaron Brennan. His first.
Henderson, a 70% shooter from the stripe. Not bad for a big guy.
Yeah, he had to sit some minutes, picked up his second foul in that first half with over 11 minutes to play, but yeah, it just seems like a guy you want in there as long as you can keep him in there.
Well, he's a great defender, great shot blocker.
Oh, Roberts zone with a little extra step in it. Archie, the dump to Brennan. Nice setup by Mason Archie. Jags back on top.
You can see they're running and they're doubling Omegano even when he's 17 feet from the basket. They know his back down game. He gets some space, he's going to try to do that. I think that's a lot of why the Jags have gone with some zone defense there, just try to get Omegano out of those one-on-one situations. Here he is with the ball.
Bobby Word comes in and corrals that, puts it back in. 6 for Word. And the Golden Eagles back on top. And Omegano just off to the right on all those 15-foot jump shots so far. See if he'll get it dialed in. But
if he doesn't, I think this is going to be a very close game all the way through. I think Oral Roberts is going to get some separation. It's going to be Omegano getting it going offensively.
Davron Williams trying to rip it out of there. He got tied up with Henderson. There will be a jump ball. Goes over to Oral Roberts.
This is a great battle for the rebound between Williams and Henderson. 2 athletic bigs going after that thing with a lot of tenacity.
Davron Williams has 10 rebounds now for IUPUI. And this is some sort of zone by, don't ask me what it is by IUPUI, but some sort of zone, and Bobby Word back-to-back baskets for the Golden Eagles. Stretches to a 3-point lead.
Starting to get a feeling, Oral Roberts getting a little more comfort level going against that zone. The Jags, they've thrown a lot of different defensive looks at Oral Roberts in this game. Expect that to continue.
Archie for 3. And that is the first 3 knocked down by the Jaguars in the ball game.
1 of 7 from 3. They're just shooting 34%. They have this game tied because of how hard they're playing on this end and because they're rebounding.
Been tied up 6 times now in the ball game. 11 rebounds now for Davron Williams.
almost kind of get the feeling both these teams content with the zone defenses because the other teams are struggling offensively. A nice pop to the high post there by Brennan, though.
He's got 6. IUPUI back on top. Jaguars.
They're back man-to-man now. Yeah. And just another variation in their looks.
And Brandon Conley with the jumper. 8 for Conley.
He's had a nice spark off the bench. Played some big minutes into that first half again when Henderson picked up his second foul.
Archie looking back-to-back for threes. Won't go. Brennan had it knocked out, or he lost it out, and Oral Roberts will get it here. 10:48 to go and tied at 38 on the 3 by Mason Archie.
The Summit League Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Your heart. The Summit League Men's and Women's. The Summit League Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament on Midcoast Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
IUPUI-Oral and the Golden Eagles tied up here with IUPUI. Quarterfinal game, with the winner of this one taking on North Dakota State tomorrow night in the semis at the Summit League Championships.
IUPUI 35% shooting. They're 14 of 40. Oral Roberts 47%, but they've only hit 14 shots themselves. See if either one of these teams can break out offensively in the last 10, get things going.
And they are just banging on Emegano. 1 of 8 from the field for Emegano.
Running at him with some double teams, even when he has it on the wing. Trying to force the basketball out of his hands or force tough shots, and it's working.
Leo Sveti has checked in for IUPUI, so is Elijah Ray down in the post. And Kufu Najee falling out of bounds, first hoop in the second half, but he has been very good this evening. 6 of 8 from the field. And Najee puts IUPUI back in the lead.
Anderson wide open under the basket, and they missed him. And he just gets swarmed under there when he did catch it.
Elijah Ray muscling up down there in the post against Daniel Henderson.
See, they'll run right here to Emegano, trying to give it up.
Get it to him late in the shot clock, and it was down to 4 when they kicked it out of bounds. Shot clock back to 15.
Najee's has had some really smooth baseline jumpers, rising up and shooting over the D. He's really been the only player that's really scored with efficiency. Him and Brennan combined 9 for 12. Everyone else struggling.
Elijah Ray knocks it away inside. Bobby Word going back and getting it for Oral Roberts, and he was fouled. Sveti had it, and then he commits the foul.
That's a great defensive play by Bobby Word. Get in there, get your hand on the basketball. Possession back for your team.
Henderson missed it. Tap in by Word. Wouldn't go either, but he goes and gets it again. And then Aaron Young and Henderson. They've had 4 shots at it, and a foul down on the floor goes against IUPUI, and it will stay at this end.
I'm sure if you're Oral Roberts, you're thinking, what else do we need to do? I mean, point-blank shots that aren't going in. I mean, Aaron Young had a great look at a little floater in the lane. That's a shot he's very capable of making as well.
And then Bobby Word sneaks in there. Aaron Young with the assist. And that is 10 for Bobby Word. Jaguar timeout with just under 9 to go, tied at 40.
The Summit League Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. The Summit League Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda.
Jaguar band at the other end of the floor. And this is the 10th tie in this ball game. Newitt tied at 40 right now.
These teams, there's not been much separation in this game by either squad.
Oral Roberts is led by 4, IUPUI is led by 2.
That would put an exclamation point on that then, wouldn't it?
There you go.
Well, and when they played down in Tulsa, this is a lot of what the game was. I mean, neither team had a double-digit lead in that one. 9-point margin at the end for Oral Roberts. That was about as big as it got. Actually, excuse me, it was 8, but I think it was nip and tuck the whole way there too.
Oral Roberts man-to-man on this time down the floor. Najee has just had that one shot here in the second half.
And Barksdale for IUPUI just 4 points in this game as well.
Yeah, he comes back on. He's got 3 fouls. Najee had to rush one with the shot clock winding down. Aaron Young coming the other way, 3-on-1 off to Donnell Henderson. Barksdale got a little piece of it, but Henderson, good hands. And that is 7 for Henderson.
That was good transition there. Good finish around the rim for the big fella.
Good again for Aaron Brennan.
We're talking about a kid with a bright future. I think as a freshman, 6'6", The ability to step out and shoot that shot at the four-man spot. He's going to have a big role in this IUPUI offense going forward.
Brennan has hit 4 out of 5 shots. Megano slicing through and cannot get one to go down, but the hustle by Megano, he saved it off of a IUPUI player, but he was out of bounds himself.
Biggest lead in this game's been 4 points. Nip and tuck, we're going down to the wire here. Tied at 42.
The Summit League Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics. The Summit League Men's and Women's Basketball Tournament on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, your Heartland Chevy team dealers, and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
7:19 to play, and yet to be decided here between IUPUI and Oral Roberts. Golden Eagles going to get up and pressure here as Barksdale will play it in.
You got to think these teams maybe thinking if they could force some turnovers defensively, that could maybe crack the lid open on the offense.
Hardly been anything on the fast break.
Just a little bit of a surprise. We consider there's been some turnovers, there's been some missed shots.
IUPUI had a stretch in the first half where they made 5 straight shots, but could not open more than a 2-bucket lead. Davron Williams missed inside.
Jack 16 of 45, a 36% in this one. Oral Roberts 42%. They're 16 of 38.
And Megano's sitting on 6 points right now. He's had 2 games in Summit League play this year where he's been under 10. And one of them was against IUPUI the first time around this year. Oral Roberts still won the ball game, but Aaron Young fouled on the shot. That's going to be the 4th on Marcellus Barksdale.
Mistake here by Barksdale. You don't want to foul there. I mean, that's going to be a difficult shot already for Young. Bailing him out and sending him to the foul line.
Well, with Megano struggling, Aaron Young has picked it up. He's got 8. Bobby Word has picked it up. He's got 10. And Brandon Conley off the Oral Roberts bench has 8 as well.
There's no doubt that's why Scott Sutton's team hasn't been able to separate. I mean, you're used to getting 18 points a game from Megano, and he does it very efficiently. The other thing is he hasn't gotten to the free throw line here in the second half. Only shot 4 free throws for the entire game of Megano, and he gets there about 8 times a game.
Barksdale's going to go out with those 4 fouls. PJ Boutte will come in. Both teams gone back to man-to-man now, Brad.
Gotta keep shifting it up here a little bit. See a lot of ball screen action now here out of the Jags, trying to get some looks on the screen and roll, big on little.
Shot clock to 7. Najee, another tough shot for him, and Davron Williams going to get it.
12 offensive rebounds for IUPUI. They're not shooting as high a percentage, Tom, but they've got 10 more field goal attempts in this game. Both teams have shot the same number of free throws. It's been those extra chances that have kept the Jags in this thing.
13 rebounds for Davron Williams. Henderson, great idea, but the Jaguars go after it, and Mason Archie grabs it.
That was a good presence of mind by Archie. You know, not trying to get too aggressive with the basketball in that high traffic. I mean, every possession is going to be crucial here down this stretch of this game.
Under 5 to go. Najee will go down. A foul anyway on the screen, trying to get him loose.
See here on the ball screen, Williams not set there. Extends the shoulder into the defender there, and that's what gets called.
IUPUI, just their 7th turnover, Brad.
That's another reason why they have more field goal attempts and get 10 more shot attempts.
Donnell Henderson with his easiest 2 of the night, another assist for Aaron Young.
Hey, look at what Henderson's done. He's 4 of 6, got 9 points. Conley 4 of 4 with 8. They're getting great production out of that 5 spot tonight.
Williams waits for everybody else to go away, and then Davron Williams with 9 points now to go with those 13 rebounds. And they're tied again.
They seem to just keep answering each other.
Jaguar foul inside. We'll check it when we come back. 3:42 to go. And Williams ties it up again.
Coming up on the CU Mortgage Direct LLC postgame show, we'll put the wrap on this one. We'll have the postgame press conferences from both squads and look ahead to our semifinal action tomorrow on Midco Sports Network. Back and forth we go. We may be in for our best finish of the tournament so far.
That's what it feels like. We've had 11 lead changes, 13 ties in this ballgame. 4 points has been the largest lead either team has had. This one's going right down to the wire.
Who wants it? We'll find out in the last few minutes. Tom and Brad.
All right, guys, been tied 13 times in the ball game. That last foul was on Davron Williams, and OB Obeah-Megano at the line for a 1-on-1 for Oral Roberts. IUPUI won 2 league games this year, scored in the low 50s. Oral Roberts has been a little more prolific than that, but
just been 48 possessions for each team in this game, and a typical men's college game more in the mid-60s for possessions per game. That's kind of the way IUPUI wanted this thing, and they've controlled the tempo. They've kind of muddied it up, if you will. Done a nice job holding down Oral Roberts' star player, and Obeah-Megano.
And Megano's got 8. 5 of those coming at the free throw line. He had that 3-pointer in the first half for his only field goal. Barksdale back in with 4 fouls.
Both these teams, I guess, are pulling out all the stops.
Right inside against Donnell Henderson. And Conley down with a rebound for Oral Roberts.
At this point of the game, a 4-point lead, a 2-possession lead just looks huge because of how close this thing's been the whole way.
3 minutes to go. Conley and keep it at a 2-point game.
That was his first miss of the game. Look at the foul situation too. Oral Roberts with just 5 team fouls, so they've got 1 to give. They can play a little more aggressive on this end. IUPUI's already fouled 7.
Archie, beautiful pass to Brennan. He had a little trouble holding it initially, and Brandon Conley comes out of there with it for Oral Roberts. Timeout called by Oral Roberts, 32nd timeout, 2:18 to go here. And in the Summit League regular season, in overtime in Tulsa the first time around, Corey Bilberry had 23 points in that game. He had big games both times in the season series. Davron Williams going to work inside for IUPUI, but Oral Roberts takes it in overtime, 69-61. Donnell Henderson had 15 points and 11 rebounds in that game. And then in Indianapolis, a 10-point win for Oral Roberts. Bilberry again had 20 in that game. PJ Boutte led IUPUI with 19 in that one. But the Golden Eagles beat them twice, and they've got a 2-point lead here with just over 2 minutes to go.
This is where offensively, as a coach, if you have a bread and butter play, you want to go to it.
And Megano is good. Obeah-Megano, first field goal here in the second half. He's got 10 points. And that matches the biggest lead for either team tonight. Oral Roberts by 4.
That shows the confidence that Scott Sutton has in Omegano. Up to that point, Omegano 1 for 9. Has had a very rough night, but a huge bucket there.
Davron Williams wants it, going against Henderson. Got some help, got it right back, missed it. Najee makes the save off the leg of Omegano. A new shot clock. Under 2 minutes to go now.
Najee here. This is a big-time save. Save the possession for your team. IUPUI's had a couple opportunities in the last 2 possessions on right at the rim, but not able to finish from their posts.
Back into Williams, up over Henderson. Davron Williams now with 11. He's got 14 rebounds, makes it a 2-point game again. Scott Sutton, another timeout. Oral Roberts with 2 games left in the regular season, Brad. They came out, said that Corey Bilberry was suspended for the rest of the season, wasn't going to play in the tournament, and all year it was Bilberry and Obeah-Megano that had carried this team.
Yeah, those 2 guys, 2 and 5 in scoring. Bilberry, the 5th leading scorer in the Summit League. He was an all-conference performer last year in the Southland Conference where Oral Roberts played, but just a kid that has great athleticism, and certainly they've missed his scoring and rebounding. He was actually 2nd in the Summit League in rebounding as well at 6'3".
Average 14.7 rebounds a game. They've been very quiet about the reason for the suspension. We'll see if they will revisit it once the season is over here, but they won their last 2 games of the regular season without him. Bobby Word stepped into the starting lineup. On to Megano again, and he lost it off his foot.
Kind of caught IUPUI off guard last possession when they went to Omega, gave him the basketball up the high post, let him go one-on-one quickly. The Jags were ready that time out of the timeout. They doubled him hard right away, forced the turnover. That's a big-time stop here for IUPUI.
Coming up on a minute to go. 2-point lead for Oral Roberts. Jaguars and Barksdale. Again, right to the rim. Donnell Henderson, big rebound for Oral Roberts. IUPUI can play it out here, but Davron Williams takes it away. Can't score, but he's going to go to the free throw line. How about the steal by Davron Williams?
You just want to talk about a senior that's playing his heart out here tonight. Davron Williams not giving up on this loose basketball, keeping it alive for his team. Got 15 rebounds in this game, 11 points. He's 1 of 2 at the free throw line tonight here, but he's only just 59% shooter coming in.
He has done his thing tonight, averaging 8.6 boards a game. He's got 11 points and 15 rebounds, and makes it a 1-point game with 50 seconds to go. Jags can afford to play out of possession here. Oral Roberts, another timeout, however. They've still got 1 left. South Dakota State and South Dakota will meet in the first men's semifinal tomorrow night here. And in North Dakota State, the defending tournament champions waiting for the winner of this one.
Whoever they get, North Dakota State knows they're going to get a team that plays with a lot of toughness. We've seen that out of both these teams. North Dakota State had to kind of weather a few storms last night. Some cold shooting. Their star player, Lawrence Alexander, had a rough outing, but they were still able to get the win over Denver. And you got to think North Dakota State's sitting there thinking, you know, they just played Oral Roberts right before the tournament, and Oral Roberts really thumped them. Would they like to get another shot at the Golden Eagles? We'll see.
Oral Roberts did beat NDSU. IUPUI took North Dakota State to overtime in Indianapolis and lost that one, but the Bison back this year. North Dakota State won the tournament last year. Saul Phillips, the head coach, took off for Ohio. David Richmond, his assistant, stepped in this year. Got the Bison back to a tie for first in the regular season. And North Dakota State back in. Dexter Warner and Chris Kading there for the Bison, getting set for tomorrow night. Made that NCAA tournament appearance last year. North Dakota State beat Oklahoma in the first round.
I think everyone thought coming into this year, surely North Dakota State's lost so much off that team that they wouldn't finish near the top, but they really proved everybody wrong. And I mean, Lawrence Alexander, player of the year, David Richmond, coach of the year, and they've had a fantastic season. And again, they'll get the winner of this one.
All right, here we go. Golden Eagles by 1. Jags trying to tighten it up here for another 20 seconds, but a foul underneath on Mason Archie.
He was holding Obi Omegano as Omegano was trying to come off of the screen. Bad news is you're sending Omegano to the line. It is a 1-and-1, but if there's anything that's good news is it came early in the possession. Omegano, cool customer. He's 78% shooter, and he's been there a ton. More free throw attempts than anyone else in the Summit League, so he's very comfortable in this situation.
He has made 7 of 8 at the free throw line. 3-point Oral Roberts lead.
For the Jags, again, you don't have to have a 3 here. Get something aggressive going to the basket.
Najee. Barksdale flying up there, and that's going to be the 5th foul on Marcellus Barksdale as Brandon Conley yanked it down for Oral Roberts. So Barksdale going to go out.
For IUPUI there, they had a decent look, and you get the ball into probably the player that's had the hottest shooting night, Najee. He's got 12 points for him. And then you had to crash the glass after that. You had to take some chances. Barksdale flying in there, gets called for over the back.
Brandon Conley's going to be at the free throw line for Oral Conley's
67% on the year, Tom, but he hasn't shot a ton of them. 46 attempts in 30 games.
If he can make one, if he can make the first here, it would be a big deal for the Golden Eagles. PJ Boutte came in for IUPUI to replace Barksdale.
This is a 1-and-1 still.
You got that side spin on the release for Brandon Conley, but first trip to the line tonight. And it makes it a 4-point game.
That's a big make there. When you haven't been to the line all game, it's tough to step up there and do that.
Najee coming the other way.
Gotta go quick here for your IUPUI.
Comes off that screen, a 3 by Najee to cut it down to 1, and still 18 seconds to go. 15 points for Kufu Najee.
Just the second three-pointer that the Jags have hit tonight. They're 2 of 9 from long range. At this point, Najee, he didn't have a lot of choice, but you see the ball screen action just rising up and knocking it in. Got this thing back to a 1-point game if you're IUPUI. And 18.2 seconds. You still got time if you want to try to put a little backcourt pressure on Oral Roberts. You don't have to necessarily foul right away. And because you get it down to a 1-point game, even if Oral Roberts makes 2 free throws, you're going to have a chance. Get the basketball back, down 3 points, maybe down 2, maybe down 1.
They did go over and review. It was a 3 by Najee to make it a 1-point game. Jaguars still have 2 timeouts remaining.
I think the thing that'll be interesting to see what is Oral Roberts' strategy as far as who do they get the basketball into? Who do they want to try to get it into to try to beat the pressure? You're going to know that probably you're going to expect a double team right away. If I'm Scott Sutton in that huddle, I'm thinking about how can I get Obi Emegano this basketball. He's a strong player with the ball. Not going to get it easily knocked out of his hands. And like we mentioned, he's a fantastic free throw shooter that gets there a lot. So he's not going to be afraid of the big moment there.
And you see 22 there coming into the screen. Adrian Weber is their best percentage free throw shooter at 87%. Hasn't been to the line yet today, but there's the 3 by Najee, definitely a 3, and 18.2 left. So Weber will play it in, and Emegano is back here at half court. And the Golden Eagles will spend their last time out here.
Certainly not what you're hoping for if you're Scott Sutton. You just spent a full time out trying to diagram how you're going to get it in, and it wasn't successful. And now you got to get it in somehow.
They had a little chance to get it to Bobby Word, but he was right underneath the basket, and Weber didn't want to make that pass. The semifinals here tomorrow night. South Dakota State will play South Dakota in the first game on the men's side. North Dakota State will play the winner of this one. Weber again will play it in.
Yes, he can still run the baseline as a part of this. You don't lose that ability because you call timeout.
And Emegano moves up the floor a little bit. Now he's going to come to the basketball. And they do get it into Obi Emegano, and PJ Boutte stepped in there, didn't let Emegano come down, and it's a blocking foul on Boutte. Less than a second went off the clock.
They just kind of threw this thing up for grabs, and Omegano may be fortunate he didn't get called for a push-off on Najee, but good call on the block there. Exactly right, Tom. They've got to let the offensive player come down cleanly.
2 shots here for Omegano. That's the 10th foul on IUPUI, and Omegano.
After Jason Gardner, how do you play this out here? He elects not to use a timeout in between the free throws.
9 of 10 at the line for Omegano. Here's your situation, Brad. 3-point lead. Boutte going right in to cut it back to 1, and still 12 seconds to go. And Jason Gardner will take a timeout. Jags will still have 1 left.
Here's what PJ Boutte brings to this team. I mean, a kid with a motor. And Oral Roberts not wanting to foul, but they did not do a good job making him have to change direction at all on the open floor. And just an easy layup that only uses, what, about 3 or 4 seconds there. Boutte got the ball off the floor quickly.
All right, right back where we were a moment ago. 1-point game.
And again, pressure right again on Oral Roberts. No timeouts.
Yeah, they got to get it in here. Weber again will bring it in. And it was not easy the last time around. DJ McCall
I would consider
will come over and guard Omegano.
Yeah, I'd even consider double teaming 15 in white. They're going to keep someone on the basketball here.
Big Davron Williams trying to make it hard for Weber to get it in. They get it to Young. Do not foul him. It comes back to Weber. 6 seconds to go, and they foul Adrian Weber with 5.9. And again, he has had limited minutes tonight, but he's an 87% free throw shooter on the year. He's only taken 35 of them, but good free throw shooter.
Well, that's why he was on the floor. And you know, he was the trigger man throwing it in. And he was huge stepping in there and getting kind of what looked like a little bit of a loose ball. The ball did get deflected by the Jags, but now he's got 2 shots here. These are huge.
Back to a 2-point game. Jason Gardner is going to take his last time out here. All right, we're in your close to your favorite situation here. If Weber makes the 3, or makes the next free throw, makes it a 3-point game, do you foul if you are Oral Roberts?
Well, it's the great debate in college basketball, and you've seen the scale tipping more and more to teams choosing to foul. The thing I will say with that is that needs to be something you have practiced. Your team needs to be ready to execute it, because it sounds simple, but the last thing you want to do is foul someone who's in the act of shooting when you're up 3, obviously. So if Oral Roberts is going to do that, you want to get to it early. But I think the biggest thing for Oral Roberts is making sure someone's on PJ Boutte, and you cannot let him streak up the floor like he did in that last possession to get the ball up quickly for the Jags. That's exactly what Oral Roberts is doing right now. Aaron Young is shadowing him everywhere he goes behind the free throw shooter.
Yep, nobody on the line for Oral Roberts other than Adrian Weber, and the senior gets them both. Back to a 3-point game. No timeouts left. Boutte is fouled by Aaron Young. And 3.8 still up there. And it will be a 1-on-1 for PJ Boutte.
Great job here by Aaron Young, just funneling him to the sideline and then easily a good position there where you can foul. Boutte 79% on the year.
Out off of Oral Roberts. Jaguars will get it here with 2.5 seconds. IUPUI's hit 2 threes in the game, 1 by Najee, 1 by Mason Archie. And again, credit Davron Williams for going after it for the Jaguars.
He probably won't get credit for that rebound, but he keeps it alive for his team. And now here's a huge break for IUPUI, potentially. The officials are going to go look and see who touched it last. Assuming IUPUI gets to keep this basketball, they're getting a free timeout out of this thing, which is exactly what they need to draw something up here. But
Obi-Oral is 15 there, who came in with the swipe. They called it off of him.
I didn't see anything on that replay that would make me think the call should be overturned. And so it's going back to the video here. The officials need to see something that's very conclusive to make them want to reverse this call. But I mean, this is one they're going to have to take a look at here for a little while. These teams, they can take their time over there. This thing's going to turn into a long timeout. Both these teams are breaking their huddles, but take another look at it here again.
You see the sleeve on the arm there, Davron Williams, who gets a touch on it, but it just did appear that Omeganou got it last.
That's exactly what they're going to rule. So now the Jags got the thing underneath 2.5 seconds. Doesn't seem like a lot of time, but on an inbounds play here, it's not like you have to shoot the thing right when you catch it. You've got time, if you're IUPUI, to maybe make one pass or have the guy that catches it make an offensive move.
They bring Leo Sveti in here. They get the 2 with 1.1 second, and now they got to come foul, and that just did not make a whole lot of sense. Buzzer went off, but there's going to be some time left here. Adrian Weber was fouled. And if you're the Jaguars, yeah, you get the hoop, but there's just not enough time to go for 2.
Well,
back to a 1-point game.
Miscommunication on the bench, and I mean, there's a reason why Williams is wide open. Oral Roberts didn't care about guarding the basket. They were very well stationed along that three-point line, and well, you just hate to see it when a game that's been this tight and this competitive come down to kind of a mental mistake.
Well, there's going to be under a second left here. There's going to be a little bit of time left, but
now at this point, it's going to be a kind of a moot point. Let's see what they end up putting back on there. And if you're Oral Roberts, you know, see the look here with the clock. There was 1.1 after the made basket. You know, credit Oral Roberts, great presence of mind to get that thing inbounded quickly. I don't know, 0.5 maybe on that thing.
Yeah, that's what they've got back up.
Now you're Oral Roberts. The question is, do you even just consider, maybe, you know, it's going to be a 2-shot foul here. You can make the first, but do you just consider missing the second one on purpose? Because then Oral Roberts, or I mean, excuse me, IUPUI just has to try to catch the rebound and heave something full court. It's kind of an interesting question because, on the other hand, if you go up 3, you know at worst case you could go overtime.
Yeah, I think Weber's, he's at the line to make both of these. First is good. Adrian Weber here in the last couple of seconds. His only points of the game coming here at the free throw line. He's made 3 in a row, and yeah, he's got to be trying to make here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like they're doing. Scott Sutton's going to try to sub if this is a made free throw so he can get his defense set.
Well, that worked out about as well as it could for IUPUI as Weber gets 3 out of 4. And Oral Roberts, 58-56 winner. Our Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort player of the game, we're going to go with Bobby Word for Oral Roberts. 10 points, 6 rebounds, a couple of assists for Bobby Word, a sophomore for Oral Roberts.
Well, a lot of team effort that went into this win for Oral Roberts. It wasn't a pretty game for them offensively, but I thought one of the things that really tipped them, they got themselves to the foul line, Tom. And when you're struggling scoring the basketball from the field,